Hey, friends and family. Hey, loved ones. Hey, fools. Hey, tricksters and magicians and alchemists. How y'all doing today? How's your world? How's everything going for you? What's coming up and what's coming through? What's being born and what's being manifested through your life and through you? So it's all about the first fruits right now, celebrating the first fruits and Lammas and Luansaw coming up August 1st. And so I've been enjoying preparing for that and just like digging in a little bit and reviewing and refreshing and investigating and exploring, yeah, all things that have to do with the light of blue and certain traditions and correspondences and associations to this time of year with so much going on in August. That's why I love this time of year so much. And it is interesting as well, like where we just kind of had a reset with the Zolkin calendar that the Mayans used. And July 25th, I believe, or was it 26th? It was the day of no time. And the beginning of a new year, of a new cycle. So I believe it was the blue lunar storm year, and now we've moved into the electric yellow seed year, which is very interesting, and I have a lot of learning to do. And I'm just like so interested in all of these different rich traditions like that just resonate with me and like spark my curiosity um, and my remembering. Yeah. And just like having fun because it's like playing. I get to play with all these things and it's what I get to choose for me. So, yeah, I've been enjoying preparing for a circle that I'm going to hold on Sunday and just like continuing in my journey and discovery and explorations and my individuation and my initiation and my completion and returning home to me and returning home to me and we and all the love we be, like the web of life and the web of being. And so there's lots of fun synchronicities and lots of fun at play, and it has been really intense this week with like a lot of joy but a lot of anxiety as well. And so it's just like, yeah, trying to find the balance and like allowance for everything, allow for everything to be, because the tension has been, wow, pretty intense. Pretty tense, pretty tense tension happening. Yeah, so there's a lot coming up and like just a lot being released, a lot being surrendered, and a lot being received. So it is interesting, like the harvest season and all things continuity and what wants to be said and what wants to be shared about all of that magic in me. Yeah. Magical me, magical we. Yeah, it is all about the magic in the summertime and the end of summertime and the beginning of fall, the beginning of harvest season. Yeah. Um, Coming into fall. And so, yeah, this is the last, yeah, bright days of this cycle of summertime. And like, let me tell you, it has been bright. It's been bright light. And so, yeah, that's another fun synchronicity that's come up in the last little while, in the last couple days for me. But I did want to share a tarot card reading because I've been doing that every month. And yeah, it was time for another one. So I got to choose that for myself and um, sit down in the morning about 2 days ago and just ask what would serve my highest good and my growth for me to know right now. And I'd like to share a couple of things. And then we'll see what else wants to be shared. Go from there. Just been writing and painting and yeah, I've done a lot of painting this week and just a lot of domestic goddess duties and things around the house and just clearing my space and arranging and reorganizing and resetting in certain ways. Yeah, I just cleaned out my art studio as well, like just to organize some things to make more room for some things that I had asked for. And yeah, it was just like watching that all, how it all comes together, and then just making the space for it. There's room for the new to be invited and nurtured and welcomed in. So that's pretty awesome. And just, yeah, enjoying like all the new creations and appreciating all that has been created, and seeing that like there is a new appreciation for the creator, the created, and all of creation. Yeah. And just looking at those things. So, what would serve me to know most right now in service to the whole and in alignment with my mission, purpose, being, learning, growing, and becoming? So I did the Celtic crossbred again with the 22 archetypes. I drew from the archetypes, the major arcana, and got some interesting cards. So I'll just go over some of them. And they were really like pretty awesome and profound for me. And I'll just share a little bit from the heart and see what wants to come through me. So the cover, which means the force is covering and influencing the seeker, that was the death card. So it's transformation. It's a blessing in disguise. It's profound interchanges and the end of a negative situation. So that is the forces covering and influencing me. Yeah, so that was pretty awesome. So we wanted to talk a little bit about death and what I had written down, because I always take like certain notes about the card and like any kind of like impressions that I'm getting. And then after I'm done going through like, yeah, the sequences of the cards, and then I'll just write my own notes and whatever stands out to me, and then I ask for clarity and help with receiving and the continuity to continue to receive the messages and the interpretations that most resonate with me. So, death. The darkness precedes the light, and death is necessary for rebirth to take place. Death and life go hand in hand. Both are linked as part of the eternal process: growth, expansion, discovery, and change. Life ends in death, and from death comes new beginnings. Change symbolizes the end of the old and the start of something new. So the 4 seasons are a graphic representation of the life-death process or creation cycles that we know so well. And we are always passing through different life stages, phases, cycles of growth or stagnation. The passage of each stage brings new beginnings, new challenges. And without the force of death, we would stagnate. The wheel would stop turning, and then we might truly be dead. So death is a revitalizing force, a cleansing, a clearing away of the old to make room for the new, to make a way for the new. So it's renewal, cast off old ideas and old ways of doing things. And from the book that I mostly read from is the Mystical Tarot by Rosemary Ellen Guiley. So some of that is her words, and some of it I adapted from like the description in that book, and some of it just like coming in through me, for me. So cut ties to the past to embrace new challenges, growth, new life, new adventures, and change. And so the crossing was the opposing forces or the obstacles, influences read in relation to the whole and the resolution. And so for the crossing, I got the Fool. And that was my resolution for my last reading that I did last month, which was kind of funny and interesting. So this time it's the crossing, it's the opposing forces, obstacles, influences read in relation to the whole. And so it's an unplanned incident or an endeavor. And so all things are possible. This is what I wrote about the Fool. All things are possible. Innocence, willingness, and naivety. The Fool tells us to take the plunge, follow our heart, listen to the inner call. He trusts his instincts. He instinctively knows. He is wise enough to know that he knows nothing. And so it leads me to believe, yeah, that there's certain things that I'm clinging to for security and for stability and yeah, holding on to or clinging to. So he is a liberated spirit. He lives to live. He's a believer in all things, especially in the potential that life holds. It's a reminder of the power of our imaginations and our dreams, our desires and our longings. Face the, yeah, he tells us to face the risks and even tempt fate and find out for yourself. Jump into the abyss and be free. Spread your wings, let the currents lift you, and enjoy the ride. Be free to fly. So the basis for the question is the foundation, and that's things that existed in the past that have become part of the present and are the reason for the question being asked. And that card, I got the High Priestess. So, revelation of hidden things, intuitive insight, creative abilities, natural gifts, and receptivity. The power of the unconscious forces in the world, the unseen powers that give Earth its form and purpose, the invisible thread that binds us together. Her source of knowledge is kept hidden, yet she appears to know all. It is a depth we can hope to achieve during our lifetime or as we come to grips with problem, challenge, opportunity that we face. She signals to us to seek the answers from within, to look inside ourselves, to listen to the voices, and to follow the promptings of our heart. Still waters run deep. Enjoy the silence. From reflection, meditation, the answers will come. She tells us to use our intuition as a guide. Patience, trust, strength, faith, the answers will come. All will be revealed, open to the possibilities, especially things we haven't yet considered. Life is a mystery, but it is with purpose. She is the knower of secrets. And so, yeah, Lynx is coming up again, and so it's just like, that's interesting, the foundation. So, and I've asked Lynx for help with, some of these things, with, the knower, and becoming a knower of secrets, and embracing that knower of secrets within myself. So number 4, what has passed? And this is the influences that this on the seeker that are falling away, or they're passing away, or they are like in the past. And so for this card, I got the Hierophant, and this, what is falling away, what I interpret that to mean is obedience to false authority, or it's a new relationship with external authority. And so like the influences of that external authority, those influences are falling away, those are passing away, or they have passed away. They're in motion, and they are in the process of falling away. So the Hierophant is the link between God and man, the high priest on earth. His are the ways of tradition. He's a channel between divine esoteric knowledge and ourselves. So a new relationship with the outer teacher, the guru, the mystic, the saint, and the inner teacher, the leader, the guide, and the liberator. So a spiritual guide who transcends the material world. He can help us discover our own divinity and the God that exists within each of us. A reminder that we cannot grow if we limit our pursuits to material satisfaction alone. Our spiritual sides need nurturing too. And also, our physical bodies. And so that's kind of interesting. For me, it's like reversed, because I'm always nurturing my spiritual side. It's just sometimes I neglect my body and the flesh. So, and then those physical, physical necessities. So, it's about balance. And everything does relate to the whole. Our spiritual sides need nurturing too. The Hierophant will help us on this quest, can also serve as a beacon of light or a beacon in the night, guiding us toward the next level of our evolution and consciousness. Represents our moral growth and development, the knowledge of true right and wrong, not that imposed by the rule of external law and order. There are consequences and a higher authority that we must answer to. Yes, a greater truth. Yes, claims my allegiance. So number 5 is what may come to pass. And that is, depending on actions taken by the seeker. So what I got for that was the Hanged Man in reverse again. And it's a refusal to abandon undesirable qualities or respond to intuition. It's resistance and an unsuccessful inner struggle or a failed initiation. So, is it that I'm not willing? Is it I'm unwilling or I'm unable to break free with or from the past? Am I too comfortable with the established order, the routine? Is it inflexibility? Is it attachment to comfort zones and old ways of doing things, the familiar monster that I know? See yourself as the master of your own fate, direct your energy, and decide for yourself. Experience, learn, choose, and be for yourself. Take one step, make it a dance, and be free, one breath at a time. A transitory card that represents a break with the past, a willingness to turn the world over, to take a fresh look at things from a new angle or vantage point. Non-conformity, things are in suspense, between stages in life, the known and unknown. We are willing to give up, surrender, detach, cease clinging, relinquish what we know. Just let go, and open to the mysteries and the magic of the world, life, love, and creation. I am willing to let it go. So 6, what you must face. So obviously self-explanatory, what I must face. And I got the Hermit for this card. And it says, look to cards 3, 5, and 10 for inspiration if changes are desirable. And so self-reliance, we have accomplished. We have accomplished, and how it relates to our true work, what we have accomplished. So time spent alone gives us a sense of peace, opportunity to glean deeper lessons. So withdraw into yourself, go within, take the time, make the room, clear the space, and be still and listen. Discretion and discernment. To let go, suspend, and vision. Contemplation, meditative, reflective, seek the light of inner wisdom. Gazing inward can bring order to the chaos in our lives, helping us to sift through different signals we're receiving so we can put each in its proper place. Silence and meditation can help us remove obstacles or remove ourselves from our problems, to look at them objectively and weigh different solutions. The answers may not come immediately, but having prepared ourselves for the discovery, they will eventually come. So it's just like kind of the foundation is telling me that revelations of hidden things, things are being revealed, but it's just like, in a way, there's some part of me that needs to prepare for some of what's to be uncovered and revealed. So having prepared ourselves for the discovery, they will eventually come. Look deep inside ourselves with no set purpose in mind other than to open our mind to new thoughts, new discoveries, and new truths that reside in our unconscious self. And that's the link. And that's funny. Yeah. Number 7, what you feel. This is justice. This is my feelings about the situation. Yeah. So justice, bringing balance and harmony, sound judgment into our lives. This is very small writing, so let's see what this says. Justice uses her power only to cut through that which would impede self-realization. She sees the value of all things. So the scales of justice remain balanced as long as we maintain proper equilibrium or harmony. When we tip the scales, we pay the price. The cosmos operates on the principle of cause and effect, the law of karma. As you sow, so shall you reap. By finding balance, we enjoy the fruits of both worlds. Making time for material and spiritual pursuits, we feel wholesome and enjoy all we get to choose. Seeing purpose in everything we do, the choice is always ours. Justice is non-judgmental. Justice implies living in harmony with nature. An appreciation for justice also is a measure of personal development. The more we practice it in our daily lives, the more we grow, the more we share in rewards, the more fulfilled we are, the more we evolve and grow. So justice. And 8, what others think, the Wheel of Fortune. So this is about what others think about the situation or about the seeker or the question being asked. Or what's going on with the others in relationship with me. So these are major events and big changes in life circumstances. This is the Wheel of Fortune, which is a self-assessment tool. They are taking account of where they are in their lives, trying to make sense of the last year and what's happening now. Yeah, sifting out and sorting through where they are coming from, moving toward, or what they are stuck in. The wheel of life, the coming and going of all things. Although we may not be in control of our destinies, we are not locked into any particular place or stage in our life. We can stand still and wait for changes as the wheel continues to spin, or we can initiate those changes ourselves and move forward. New doors are always opening in our lives, and we can choose which ones we go through. The process never stops. If we go with the flow, we grow. If we resist, we stagnate. The cyclical nature of personal growth and development. Take responsibility for whatever comes around. Growth and fulfillment and greater satisfaction come from living a life that's in tune with the cycles and rhythms of creation. The cycles and rhythms of she. So what you want? The Magician. This is the hopes, aspiration, goals, and dreams. And I got the Magician. So that is true for me. Planned, foreseen new beginnings, self-confidence, strength of will, readiness, transformation, and magic, love, wisdom, inner realizations to take the risks. The Magician represents the powers that we each possess to create meaning and purpose in our lives. He tells us this creative power resides both within and outside ourselves and is always within reach. Open yourself to the forces surrounding you, the life-giving powers, the power of creation, and draw them to yourself. Transform yourself into whatever you wish to be. The Magician symbolizes a more structured way of life. He believes there is a formula for every given situation. He seeks to learn more. He relies especially on his keen powers of observation to expand his awareness of how things work in the world. Acutely interested in learning the basic structure underlying all things as well as the patterns and cycles, rhythms that exist in the world. The Magician is an experimenter, learning from trial and error, always something to learn, nourish, and grow. Self-reliance, self-confidence, a showman working his magic, a show-off, LOL. So that's what I want. Yeah, I want to shine my light, but I'll also at the same time, that's what I'm resisting. And so it's kind of funny to be seen, but not seen. Yeah. And that's kind of interesting. So I'll see if anything else wants to be expressed about that. So the final card, the resolution, number 10, was strength, where events are leading. Yeah. So the strength card, that was a super positive card and just a beautiful, wonderful, amazing card for the resolution right now as we're moving into Leo season, as that's like the perfect symbol of Leo. Yeah, and the lion, and the virgin, the goddess. And yeah, Kundalini energy. Strength symbolizes the inner forces that help carry us forward throughout life. Life can be full of difficulties, and experience quickly teaches us that we must develop inner strength if we are to persevere and enjoy life. It's also what helps define our personalities, distinguishing a strong one from a weak one. With this inner strength, we are able to face up to the questions in our lives, to cope with the changes, the positives and the negatives. Strength is the belief that we have in ourselves. It's a different kind of self-confidence than what the chariot driver exudes. So this is the strength of wisdom and belief, the strength that comes from learning to trust ourselves and learning about ourselves. The more we believe in ourselves and our abilities, the more barriers will fall away. Inner strength is a calming influence. It's like that archetype of the strong, silent hero. He has proven himself to himself. He doesn't have to prove it to anyone else. This sense of serenity and strength is shown by the image on this card. She has tamed the beast within. She has tamed the beast inside. Instead of fighting it, she draws from it. It is her source of inner power, her wisdom. A strong person believes in life. I am ready, willing, and able, and so it is. And then I did one more card just for a bonus, just because I was feeling nudged to. And I got the Lovers, which was sacred union, attraction, love, partnership, and impending choice. So this card speaks to the next stage of a development, the point at which we move forward to begin building for the future with another, each other, me and we, coming together to join in union, integration, union, harmony, balance and acceptance, realization. the power of love in our lives, both to create and to destroy, both the love of ourselves and the love for another. Fertile new life born through sacred union of the fully integrated male and female. The two poles, yeah, joining and harmonizing as one. So the dual nature, yeah, the alchemical marriage within and the alchemical marriage without. And so how awesome is that? Like, that's just so beautiful. So a quick little review here. So we have, this is so cool, says me. Okay, so death was the cover, and that's number 13. Transformation, change, destruction, renewal, new ideas and opportunities. 0, the fool, was the crossing. Be wise, fool, a dreamer, mystic, innocent, desire, longing, and fulfillment. The high priestess, the foundation, number 2. Hidden influences, things yet to be revealed, artists, poets, way showers, seed ripeners, virtues in myself and others. 5, the Hierophant, what is passing away, the need to conform to society or the old order, the importance of external approval, the false image. Yeah, that's what's passing away. So the Hanged Man is number 12, and it was in reverse, so it's what may pass. Preoccupation with the ego, resistance, wasted effort, false prophecy, and failed initiation. 9, Hermit, what you must face, silent counsel, prudence, discernment, a meeting with one who will guide the seeker on the path, a journey, an experience may be necessary in order to gain knowledge. Yeah, and yeah, get on the proper path, or the path that is in alignment, with where we want to go. So 11, justice, what you feel. In order to, a well-balanced mind, the balanced personality eliminates excess baggage, justice. So the sword of justice. A well-balanced mind, the balanced personality eliminates excess baggage. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, what others think, and that's 10. Change of fortune, new conditions for the better, and that's awesome. The Magician was what you want, and that's number 1. Will, mastery, organizational skills, creative talents, the ability to take the power from above and direct it through desire into being. Longing and fulfillment is 1. And then the Resolution, strength, number 8. Force of character, spiritual power, love triumphs over hate, the higher nature over the carnal desire force or the appetite of the beast. And the bonus card, number 6, the Lovers. Choice, temptation, attraction, the struggle between the sacred and profane, harmony of the two, union of the dual nature. Yeah. So I added up all those just because I felt like it. I don't usually do that, but I was just like, let's see what this says. So I added up 13, 0, 2, 5, 12, 9, 11, 10, 1, 8, 6, and reduced them, and they equaled 77. And actually, the day that I did that was 7/27, which the code for that day was 77. So I thought that was so hilarious. But that is what, the numerology for this spread was 77. And then it was reduced to 14, which was Temperance, which was the next bonus card that I pulled out of my deck. Next, just for my meditation for the week, not necessarily to go with this spread, but it's kind of funny. And then final reduction is to number 5, which is the inner teacher. So that's interesting. And 77, the septenary nature of the human being. And temperance, tempering the wisdom, the great awakening. Everything alive and talking to you. Are you listening? Links medicine, please help me listen and receive. Norv, secrets, non-attachment, observation, the magician, thank you, please. Surrendering, letting go and trusting me. Allowance and responsibility, acceptance and integrity, loyalty and reciprocity, strength as the resolution, accountability, self-confidence, joy, a job well done, inner power, inner resources, inner self, inner truth, inner knowing, and self-worth. What I want, the magician, how I feel, justice, what others think, WOF, oh that's funny, woof. Maybe shaken some out of this deep slumber, and it's about to get a little bumpy or turbulent with the Aquarius Leo season and the new electric yellow seed year. It's shaken things up for me. This ego death is not easy. It's a rebirth and a destruction, an end to old ways. Purification of all that is no longer aligned, no longer needed, not mine to carry, no longer true or serving the whole in its totality. Through fullness, wholeness, uprightness, through true integrity. Be in silence, let go, open myself to the forces, gifts, qualities, blessings, possibilities, miracles, and new doorways, portals of change. What may come to pass, an unsuccessful struggle or a failed initiation, a stillbirth or a delay in moving fully forward into the new, full and true. Death, the lover, embrace the destruction to allow the renewal and life to be reborn. Allow the dissolution, the solution, allow the fall to rise. The wheel of fortune changes and turning of fortunes. The end of a negative situation turned around and allowed. Letting go of the outcome and trusting in this round, this cycle of growth and becoming all we are, through all we are. Cooperation and attention, remember who we are. Center, breathe, surrender, let go and be a star. Shine your light, know you're right, be your light, shine so bright. Love is who you and we are. Love yourself, trust yourself, remember all you are. Free yourself, be yourself, love all that you are, as you'll be, forgive all that you are. Let go of desires to make room for your whole self. Let go of your stories to be all that you are. Let go of the familiar to open, expand farther. Let go of the failures and embrace this love you are. Let go of the fears that diminish who you are. Let go of the past that dishonors who you are. Let go of attachments that distort the love you are. Let go of the distortions of who you think we are, of who you think you or we are. Let go of resentments that deplete your energy. Let go of old stories of sickness and disease. Let go of false constructs that fragment your seeing. Invite love, invite play, invite love to be. Welcome love, wake up and play, the crossing, the full, an unplanned event or endeavor. Is this interference or a catalyst for growth? The fool is wise enough to know he doesn't know. What exactly is the obstacle or the opposing influence? I know that I don't know. Is it the unknown or the resistance to the unknown or the fear of the unknown or the fear of answering the call and committing to the new journey? Hesitant to begin because the past is being clung to, attachments to the old, unwilling to let go, or currently unable to? Is it just a temporary place to embrace so love can just let go? Am I so afraid of being seen, being free to be, shining and inviting this new life to be? I am willing, so let it be. The foundation, the knower of secrets, the knower of gnosis, the knower of the mystery. Secrets are being revealed. Follow the promptings of your heart and embrace the journey's mystery and the new discoveries, the play, the game, the stage, and the opportunities. Intuition, trust, faith, grace, and strength, patience, and humility, knowing all things are divinely unfolding through all of life's ways. Open to the possibilities, especially those we have not yet fully considered or seen. See the good and the virtues, the potential, the love and magic in myself and others. What is passing away? The old beliefs in external authority and the need to fit in or be socially acceptable. The groupthink mentality and the mob mind programming, the old false mind control. The old false control of mind control. The need to conform to the old order, to the false image of who we're supposed to be, the spiritual ego and the superego distortions of perfectionism, self-righteousness, and ego rigidities. What I must face, a meeting myself, meeting a guide, meeting a reflection, meeting one who can help show me the path, a journey or an experience, an encounter, or a meeting may be necessary to catalyze growth or to gain insight and knowledge. I am willing to follow my guidance, my heart, inner knowing, soul's call, and intuition. I am willing to trust myself. I am willing to tame the beast within. I am willing to change, grow, shine, live, trust, open, and move forward. I am willing to let go. I am willing to relinquish the old false sense of control. I am willing to embrace the unknown. I am willing to enjoy the journey and meet myself on, in, and through my journey home. I trust in this time, this path, and this place, this purpose, and this great work, this great awakening, this gift of life, God's play and masterpiece, this work in progress and discovery, this return to ourselves through you, me, and we. A strong person believes in life. Strength draws upon the beast. Strength draws upon the beast within instead of fighting, resisting her own power. It is her source of power, force of character, a calming influence, serenity, peace, faith, grace, and knowing. Triumph of the higher nature, reason over the beast nature, or carnal desires, ego appetites. Love triumphs over hate. The more we believe in ourselves, the more barriers will fall away. Integration, union, balance, harmony, alignment, structure, justice, and the lovers. New life through sacred union, heroes, gamels, wholeness, whole reunion. And that's all I have written down about that for that reading there. And that was on the 27th. And then in the morning, I read some things as well. I was reading some stuff about Luinsod on druidry.org. And I was reading like certain interesting dates and traditions in August. And also that day I had read about the 77 herbs on the day of the consecration. Let's see. It's like the Ascension of Mary, and that's like the consecrations of the 77 herbs. And I'll talk about that in a few minutes. I thought that was really cool, the synchronicities with the 77 and the 22 that's been happening in the last week or two. And some other things that have been, correspondences to this energy of the mother energy of like relating to Isis, relating to Mary, relating to the Magdalenes, relating to the Essenes, relating to Ascension, and all these things. So, the code for 727 yesterday was 77, and that's so awesome because the cards in my spread all added up to 77. How funny. I just got a random nudge to add them up and see. That's a funny synchronicity. And the other day I was reading about Luinsod, Isis's birthday, Lionsgate, Mary Magdalene's festivals and feast days, and there are 77 herbs gathered in some traditions and consecrated for healing through the new year and the winter. I'll try to find that again. I've been a busy bee with housework, doggies, art, creativity, responsibilities, and alchemy, joy, fun, and play, learning and growing, being, becoming all I am as I am, and allowing me to be. I've been feeling a hell attention recently, like I'm on guard and anticipating something, the old ego strategies or needs to defend, protect, save, fix, make nice, comfortable, or right, and then observing, noticing, detaching, and surrendering through meeting me and my feelings and letting them, allowing them to pass through me. Remembering what's true and all that really matters and is dear and real and true for me. All that is true, good, right, and meant for me. Seeing some of the monkey mind antics and the good old trickster at play, tricking myself with silly stories by overthinking always. So silly me. Letting go of the resentments, obsessions, old habits, expectations, disappointments, and attachments to agendas, outcomes, false images, and dysfunctional, disempowering, codependent, and parasitic, covert, narcissistic, inverted, perverted, distorted dynamics that dishonor our love, beauty, richness, and fullness. Going beyond what is seen as right and wrong, letting go of resistance to sing my own soul song, transmit and broadcast my divine frequency, my signature, my essence, my legitimate ways of soul being, my right to be me fully and freely, all that I am, all this love for me and we. My love for me, my temple, my being, my sanctuary, my love, my light, my life is for me. I am willing to share, honor, and receive this for me and we. So it is, and so it shall be. Strength and the lovers, love and harmony, trust, grace, and receptivity, faith, joy, and humility, forgiveness for all of these things. Symbols of the harvest and the importance of agriculture and agrarian societies in early ancient civilization, life, nourishment, fertility, and livelihood, abundance and prosperity, richness and fertility, conscious imbibing, receiving, eating, and exchanging, cornucopia, wheat, corn, grapes, wine, bread, nourishment, etc., the orchard, the forest, the earth's bounty, and astrology, the horn, the chalice, the table of plenty, earthly gifts and delights, the gifts of being and becoming and realizing love is free. So, July 29th. That is today. Loved ones, allies, relations, ancestors, progeny, and star family. The feast of the first fruits and the bright lights of Leo season. The star of Isis and the spiritual sun. The light of Sirius aligning and rising with our great sun. Mary Magdalene's feast day and Isis's birthday, rebirth day, happy birthday vibes. A new relationship with time and time through multidimensional awareness and presence through time. This is our time to rise and shine, make space, make room for your whole full self and enjoy the whole damn ride. We can't rid the world of sorrows, but we can choose to live in joy. We cannot resist these changes if we want to embody our lives. We cannot force or control others if we want freedom for ourselves. We cannot manipulate others as we unshackle and clear our own minds for ourselves. We cannot continue to deceive ourselves without dishonoring all we are. Let go of all those stories and remember who we are. So, the star, Venus and Mars, Neptune and Jupiter, Saturn and Chiron, Pisces, Leo, Cancer, inspirational leadership in service to the whole, healed healers, love through one and all. I believe that all things are possible. I believe in our abilities and the love we are and get to be. I believe and I know that good things and miracles are always coming, unfolding and, coming my way through the great mystery. I believe in our angel wings. I believe in me and we. I believe in me and we, thee and she. I believe that we are ascending into higher planes of awareness through purifying, attending, and harmonize our rejected, misperceived aspects, and we are awakening and remembering who we really are. I believe in this sacred time and in this great work, in this healing, returning home to all we are. The bell, the flower, the blossom, the sun, the star, blue spiral, sun star, Sirius, Regulus, spiritual sun, one love, fire colds, cooling waters, one love, Pleiadians, Venusians, Syrians, Andromedans, Vegans, Arcturians, Andromedans, Sumerians, Egyptians, Lemurians, Atlanteans, Martians, and Mercurians, copper, crystals, portals, gateways, earth, star, suns, solar plasma light activations, love in every one, blue, white star, north star, compass, love is who we are. And revelations and secrets. Silence, listening, opening, trusting, softening, surrendering, allowing, receiving. Music, nature, stories, poetry, creativity, practice and play, receptivity and trust. Embrace all my ways. I am willing to open, trust, and let go, knowing when to speak and when to listen. Knowing in transparency, make the room and be, hold the space for God to be received. Magdalene messages, Christos, Sophia, wisdom of the divine feminine and her sacred alchemy. Open, trust, receive, allow, remember, breathe, begin again. Wow, potent messages and interesting sync this morning and afternoon. So one of the things that was coming up too, I was looking at Uranus and Saturn and the Sun. Let's see, and Aquarius and Leo. Yeah, looking at all those things. So yeah, it's kind of interesting where I was getting certain like the blue rose and the blue spiral, and I didn't know that the blue rose was a symbol. Well, maybe I had, but I forgot that it was a symbol for Mary Magdalene or the Virgin Mary as well. And there's a 22 code within that blue rose, so I thought that was super interesting. And yeah, so I've been looking at like the significance of Uranus in my chart and also like Aquarius. So I learned some things that I hadn't considered before, so that was pretty cool. And yeah, still learning all the time. I'm the perpetual student. And yes, those certain things are coming up as well, like the self-existing, self-sustaining, self-perpetuating. Yeah. We'll see if anything wants to come in around that. So I'm holding compassion, empathy, and mercy for all of us as we transition and move beyond this phase of spiritual infancy and immaturity, ignorance, and suffering, as we learn and develop our natural gifts and abilities and remember who we are and who we get to choose to be, as we grow into ourselves, as we learn and do our thing, as we are and as will be, as we can and get to be, as we awaken to ourselves, our fullness, and our divinity, as we remember we are part and connected to everything, as we learn, grow, and discover what our souls are asking us to see, to trust, open to, choose, allow, and fully receive. As we die to the old and the old falls away, as we're born to the new through all our true ways, as we come through the birth canal and allow love to move through, moving us through, letting go of resistance, letting go of judgments, beliefs, attachments, resentments, assumptions, stories, expectations, identities, scripts, programs, myths, agendas, and roles, masks, armor, strategies, and the need for false control, making room, making space for the whole, forgiving, blessing, praising, thanking, celebrating, a job well done, a journey cycle of completion, an initiation into a newborn life and a new full you, a true, full, whole, authentic view, a new relationship with all of you, through all of you, for all of you, and all of you, for all of you, all we. Unity, individuality, and harmony, natural freedom, creative diversity, expression, and authenticity, unself-consciousness, or no mind, purified mind, GSF behavior, intentions, actions, and operating, devotion, humility, joy, peace, patience, willingness, faith, courage, trust, and mercy, strength, and grace, fullness, emptiness, and willingness. So thinking about the polarity of Aquarius and Leo, the goddess, the lion, and the water bearer, temperance, strength, and the chariot, the magician and the high priestess, fire and water, the chalice and the blade, the cauldron, the fire, the brew, and the sage, the play, the game, the gift, and the stage of this great unfolding mystery through love, life, divine will, and secret alchemy. So yeah, there's a couple things that I learned and that I got to see and I got to add to my last inquiry, which, yeah, looking into like some of the astrology, which is interesting because that corresponds with the rituals and the magic of Luanza. Like one of those is astrology, and so it's an awesome time to get into that and to explore that and to dig into that. So this is kind of fun how naturally like I'm just drawn like by my curiosity into certain things because I am in rhythm or in tune with the rhythms and the cycles of creation. And so it's really fun like every day to see like just what comes up and how it relates. And so the essence of Luanza is the joy of life under the knowledge that darker times are moving in. We take in the warming rays of the sun and store their power for the times coming. Luanza is a very good time to express gratitude to the gods and the earth spirits, Mother Earth and the Spirit of Life for all the blessings, gifts, and miracles that we are now receiving and opening to receive and nurture within our lives and ourselves. Self-existing, self-sustaining, self-perpetuating, continuity. Consciously receiving to regenerate these gifts and to fully honor them, to be present and receive. Connect with nature via the food and nourishment that we take into ourselves to receive. Honor the connections and the mystery. This is especially valid for self-harvested fruits, but also conscious eating with the focus on food, energy, fuel, nourishment, medicine, information, and not on the TV, the phone, work, or screens, etc. It's one of the ways that we can express our thanks for the harvest and all we've been given to share, offer, grow, develop, honor, and receive, to nourish and nurture ourselves and life, the life growing within we. It's a time of joy and tension as Luanza marks the beginning of the now noticeable descent of the sun into the darkness of winter, from the connection between the earth, the female principle, and the sun, the male principle, the marriage of the sky father and the earth mother, emerge the fruits of the first harvest of the year. Sacrifice, transformation, transfiguration, death, life, and rebirth. Divine cycles of creation and organic growth. What things, projects, creations are reaping in us in the moment? What would we like to finish, complete, or continue? What would we like to start anew? Do we have the insight that to every harvest there is a necessity of preparation and also making the room to grow? So I had read something on druidry.org that I kind of took some of those from and adapted like my own thing from, but I wanted to give that credit, druidry.org, about Luanza. And so the feast of the first fruits and the bright lights of Leo season, the star of Isis and the spiritual sun, the light of Sirius aligning and rising with our great sun. And so what I found next about that was I was looking a little bit at Leo, the sign of Leo, yesterday, and I flipped open my book, The Symbols, and signed Sourcebook by Adele Nozedar. And so I just kind of took some notes because I thought, oh, that's like really cool. Like, I know I had read them before, but like, it's kind of funny how certain things like don't fully penetrate until a later time sometimes. So the constellation known as Leo has always been represented by the lion. The Babylonians sexed the lion as female and named her Urgula, the lioness. The Romans called the star Regulus, meaning heart of the lion. The word also means little king or paw of the lion. One of the first names for Leo was Babylonian and means great light, and indeed the sign's first name was the Great Light, a reference to its ruler, the sun. Leo is the only sign in the zodiac that is ruled by the sun, a star, in contrast to the other signs that are ruled by planets. The sigil for Leo could be the tail of the lion. Alternatively, the circle can be seen as the heart, ruled by the lion, with the scooped curve symbolizing the excitement and joy that Leo feels when something particularly beautiful or inspiring is experienced. The downward slope, however, signifies the unfinished projects that so often litter the life of the Leo personality. The glyph may also signify the lion's mane. The fire element of Leo makes it theatrical, flamboyant, creative, and hospitable with regal or noble tendencies that can come across as condescension. The fire is the controlled heat of the sun as opposed to the untamed flames belonging to Aries. The lion is the symbol of power, royalty, and pride, the symbol of emperors, which can be used to good or bad effect. The Egyptian zodiac, the Dendera, shows an animal or shows an image similar to the strength archetype of the tarot. A woman tames a lion, holding open its jaws with apparent ease. Leo rules the spine and the heart, the pillar and the threefold prism of great light, the heart, the star, and the sun. So adapted from Signs and Symbols Sourcebook by Adele Nozedar. Then I saw Virgo next, and since I'm all about the harvest right now and the Feast of the First Fruits, it's like, I gotta include Virgo, the Virgin, here. This sign has been depicted or portrayed as the prudish virgin, the wanton temptress, and all other aspects of the feminine in between these two extremes. She's been identified as many different goddesses. For the Romans, she was Ceres, holding a sheaf of corn, symbol of fertility and the harvest. Virgo also appears at the time the crops are being gathered together. Egyptians linked her with Isis and with Mot, the goddess of truth and justice. All of the names for Virgo refer to her as the Virgin or the Maiden. A Greek legend links the sign of Virgo to Astraea, the goddess of truth and virtue who lived with the other immortals among human beings on Earth. However, when Pandora opened the box and released all manner of nasties into the world, the Earth became unbearable. Astraea stayed for as long as she could bear it, although she eventually left the Earth, the last of the deities to do so, her finer sensibilities offended by the behavior of humans. It is said that Astraea will return to Earth when humankind is ready for her. For Christians, she is personified as Mary, the Virgin Mother of Christ, sometimes portrayed with the 5-petaled Marian flower that conceals the five-pointed star, the pentagram. Early depictions of Virgo show her as a winged angel. The qualities of Virgo are tranquility, discrimination, efficiency, grace, and intelligence. Self-control and self-discipline add to the equation, as well as methodical diligence and tidiness. Virgo is a spiritual sign, and the depictions of the sign Virgo with wings symbolizes the ascension of the soul. Appearing during the time of the harvest, Virgo is maternal, fertile, nurturing, and prepared for whatever may come her way. So, that was so great. And then I looked at Libra because the scales are coming up too with the balance, harmony, and equilibrium and union and all of that. So Libra, symbolized by the scales, the only inanimate object that represents a zodiac sign, although they are often depicted or shown in the hands of a human figure. The idea of balance or equilibrium is confirmed by the many ancient astrological disciplines that give Libra this quality. The Greeks called this sign Zugos, meaning yoke. Unsurprisingly, Libra was associated with Mot, the Egyptian goddess of truth and justice. The figure of a woman with the scales of balance and the sword of justice still carries a powerful symbolic punch as the representation of the law. So I wrote in my own hand, the law of one, the law of love, the law of karma, the laws of supreme creation. The astrological shorthand for Libra does indeed look like the yoke that the Greeks thought the constellation represented. However, it also bears more than a passing resemblance to an Egyptian symbol called the Akhet. This sign shows the sun rising between two hills, and the Egyptians called the constellation Ta Akhet, meaning the place of the sunrise. The Akhet also speaks of balance between male and female, the sun and the earth, with the space between them being the mediator or balancing factor. So that's interesting. The light of the sun and the light of the earth, and the space between them being the mediator or the balancing factor. Libra belongs to the element of air and has a gentle temperament, peaceful, affectionate, orderly, and elegant, but also changeable and prone to mood swings when the balance is disturbed. Because Libra appears at a mellow time of year when there is a lull in activity after the harvest is gathered in, it's possibly more relaxed and dispassionate than the other zodiac signs. Not surprisingly, Libra is the sign of the diplomat, a person who can see both sides of a story and make an impartial judgment, sound judgment. The color for Libra is all shades of blue. The flowers are blue-colored flowers, all blue-colored flowers, and all blue roses, hydrangeas. The food are pears, tomato, asparagus, and beans. The gemstone is sapphire and jade. The animals are lizards and small reptiles. And then Aquarius from, my Signs and Sourcebook. The Greeks and Persians called the constellation the water pot. However, for the Babylonians, the star cluster was a goddess, and to the Romans, it was Juno. To the Greeks, Hera. For the Akkadians, the sign was called Ku or Ku, meaning seat of flowing waters, or alternatively Ramanu, god of the storm. So there's correspondences and associations to the archetypes of temperance and the star in the tarot. These dual streams of water echo back to the Egyptian concept of the sign depicting a god who also pours the same two streams of water. So homeopathy relies on the power of water to be able to dilute and yet strengthen the essence of the remedy, and this magical power may provide a clue about the meaning of the two wavy lines in the glyph. In the sign's glyph, the idea of water as an active principle, a life force akin to electricity. The two streams of water in the sigil seem to be portraying water as one of the elements, but with another quality. So before the discovery of Uranus, Saturn, the planet that confers gravity and a certain weight, ruled Aquarius. Uranus, however, lends another element to the Aquarian psyche, that of innovation and a reputation for eccentricity. Aquarius is the sign of the typified mad professor or the mad scientist archetype. The Aquarian ruled by air. It's ruled by air, but with a mystical association to water, has little regard for material objects and is more concerned with the mind and spirit, primarily concerned with quenching the thirst of the soul before that of the body. This makes for a certain emotional detachment. The air element makes the sign intuitive and given to leaps of deductive reasoning. The Aquarian age is said to be the dawning of a time of change. These changes will include freedom in all senses of the word, humanitarianism, and a raising of consciousness and awareness. So the flowers are orchids, the color is turquoise, the trees are fruit trees, and the gemstone is aquamarine. The animals are the condor and long-distance flying migratory birds. So, I thought that was pretty awesome and cool, like just to look at some of those things and to see some of the correspondences and the ways certain things relate to each other, and how there is a sense of interchangeability, like it's all part of the one thing, but just existing at different degrees, just existing at varying degrees. And so, that's some of what's been coming up for me to look at and look into, to make peace with what is and what will be. And so, with that said, there's like one thing that I was going to read about Uranus last time. Just this one little snippet, because it is coming up like a lot, like the lovers and the poles, like the pole shift, and the union of the two, harmonization and purification, reunion, a sacred marriage. So of Mother Earth and Father Sky. So Uranus. To ancient peoples, the beauty and vastness of the star-studded vaults of heaven revealed the awesome power and intelligence of an invisible creator god. In Egypt, this ineffable deity was known as Autumn, or Autumn, or Adam, Atum, a formless spirit who bore within him the sum of all existence. The Egyptian sky goddess Nut was his feminine face, portrayed with her star-encrusted body bent to form the dome of heaven, touching the earth beneath with her fingertips and toes. In Babylon, the god of heaven was called Anu, whose name simply means sky. He was the supreme creator god, but like the Egyptian Adam, he remained aloof and beyond the comprehension of mortal beings. So too did the ancient Greek god Uranus or Uranus. They spell it Uranos. So it's our Anos, or our Anos, or Uranus. Whose name means the sky crowned with stars, and who, true to his transcendent nature, was rarely portrayed in sculpture or painting. Unlike the colorful Zeus, the other Greek divinity of the heights, Uranus was not endowed with lovable, fallible human traits. A much older power, his physical face was the sky itself, for he existed from the dawn of time before the other gods came into being. The god of Genesis, whose spirit moved over the face of the primordial deep, is closely akin to the Greek portrayal of a vast, dimly sensed deity by whose power the design of creation is accomplished. Uranus, god of the starry heavens, is an ancient and awesome portrayal of the divine mind that conceived the idea of a universe before any universe was made. In order to grasp the astrological symbol of Uranus, we need to consider the process by which human beings make things happen in the world. Before we create any complex structure, a book, a house, a business, a musical composition, the constitution of a nation, we must have an idea of the finished product in our minds. The idea may be built up through logical thought, or it may strike fully formed through a sudden flash of inspiration. We may be conscious of it, or we may be guided unconsciously, unaware of the source of our actions. But without it, nothing coherent can be produced. The process of bringing an idea to birth in reality is evident both in political leadership and in artistic fields such as architecture, interior design, or theater direction, where the entire concept must be held in mind before any of the individual components can be fitted together. Some people are particularly gifted with this capacity to envisage the whole before it's manifest. Such abilities are necessary in all managerial work where different tasks and functions must be linked together by an overall concept. Some ancient systems of philosophy, such as Platonism or Stoicism, in which the cosmos is perceived as an interconnected, self-regulating system, bear the stamp of Uranian vision. So too does astrology. Today, most branches of science investigate the material components of the universe with great thoroughness, but without that far-seeing awareness of an interconnected whole, of which Uranus is the astrological symbol. On the psychological level, the creator god Uranus embodies our need to see beyond disparate events and objects and glimpse the workings of the greater whole of which we are a part. Uranus also reflects our urge to transcend personal feelings in order to understand the overall pattern of our lives. The need for an objective perspective of life exists in all of us, although some people will find it painful to achieve. So the need for an objective perspective of life exists in all of us, although some people find it painful to achieve. Without it, we cannot discover how we fit into the bigger units of society and the world, but remain isolated and self-obsessed. With it, we can disengage from the emotional compulsions which occupy so much of our time and energy, and see with cool clarity our place in the overall scheme of things. Discovering such a perspective, especially at critical junctures in life, can be as nourishing to us as food. Without it, we stumble through life blind and fearful, unable to understand the deeper thread of meaning that links our life experiences. Uranus may also be seen at work on a collective level, reflecting our universal human longing to know where we are going and why. The great turning points of human history occur not because of the actions of any one individual, but through the power of ideas which break forth from the collective psyche and find an appropriate human mouthpiece. The Reformation, which swept Northern Europe in the 16th century, began with an idea that human beings were responsible directly to God and needed no papal intermediary, and found a mouthpiece in Martin Luther. The American and French revolutions of the 18th century likewise drew their power from an idea whose time had come, the right of everyone to contribute a voice to the future shape of the nation in which they live. Ideas can go badly wrong, as did the Bolshevik Revolution, yet even when human nature distorts the purity of the vision, as it inevitably will, the idea itself reflects the Uranian need for progress and evolution. Many people find it difficult to express Uranus, for they are required to detach themselves from their immediate emotional needs and look toward a bigger future design. Such detachment can feel cold and frightening because it seems to belittle the value of the individual. We may know that a divorce, a change of career, or a separation from family may ultimately be best for everyone, but that does not take away our very human pain and anger at such crisis points in life. We must pay a price for Uranian vision, for its clear light exposes all our petty propensities for manipulation, narcissism, spite, and greed. Uranus also reflects our need for a code of ethics that lies beyond any individual sense of personal importance, a code which has no pity for our difficulties if they interfere with the efficient functioning of the whole. Many people are frightened of the disruption this strangely impersonal urge within them might unleash. They hope that by suppressing it, they will not be called upon to stand on the mountaintop and look down with honesty and clarity at the road of their lives. Yet if we avoid expressing Uranus, and its creative power will erupt into our personal world in spite of us, through change which we unconsciously need and in some cases even provoke, but which we may experience as personally devastating when it arrives. The heavenly vision of Uranus may sometimes seem impersonal and cold, yet it offers us greater freedom through a new and broader perspective on our lives. So, wow, that's amazing and potent. So, Lord of the starry heavens, Uranus, the architect of creation, designs the orderly patterns of the universe and envisages his creation imbued with symmetry and beauty. At the celestial drawing board, no flaws appear, nor any disharmony arising from the imperfections of mortality. All is order and system, everything perfectly self-regulated and moving in its appointed path with elegant geometry, a vision of a cosmos and of a human potential, which forever inspires our hopes, yet forever shames us as we struggle with our mortal limits. So just wow. I don't think anything else needs to be said right now about that. I'm just going to take that and thank that and celebrate that and praise that. Praise all that goodness that links the whole, that links above and below and within and without. Yeah, and left and right. Yeah. There's one more thing that I was nudged to pick up today, and I was thinking about the bright lights and bright faith. And so I just flipped this open, and it was page 143, practicing metta, or loving kindness, and intentions. So I ask students to do their walking meditation out on the streets. I suggest they choose individuals they see and with care and awareness wish them well by silently repeating the phrase of the practice, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, and I'll add in, may you be well. I tell them that even if they don't feel loving, the power of their intentions to offer love is not diminished. And so, yeah. There was a girl that was practicing this meditation silently, and she began rejecting or reciting the phrases. Almost immediately, she began judging herself. I must not be doing this right because I feel so distant. I don't have a great wash of warm feeling coming over me. Nonetheless, reaffirming her intention to look on all beings with kindness instead of estrangement, she continued reciting, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be well. And Taking another look at a man who was dressed in a suit and tie and he seemed nervous, she began judging him. He looked so rigid and uptight. Judging herself, she thought, here I am trying to send loving kindness to someone and instead I'm disparaging him. So that's like the monkey mind that's been kind of like, it's such a great example of like what I've been kind of going through, like what as I've been observing and watching this stuff, like coming through the monkey mind. This is kind of funny, judging ourselves, judging others, and then judging ourselves for the judgments, and on it goes. And so she became judgmental of herself. Still, she continued repeating the phrases, aligning her energy with her deep intention to be a force of love in the world. Page 144. At that moment, the man walked over to her and said, I've never done anything like this before in my life, but I'd like to ask you to pray for me. I am about to face a very difficult situation in my life, and you somehow seem to have a really loving heart, and I'd just like to know that you're praying for me. Wow, life can't be explained by a perfectly linear predictability. I thought this, and so he felt that. It is a lot messier and more outrageous and more mysterious. However, this remarkable coincidence can still illustrate the point. Even though the woman didn't perform a concrete physical or verbal action, her commitment to positive intention apparently had an effect. When our intention is to do good for others and we nurture that intention, we can have faith that in some way often unknown to us ripples out. Several recent scientific studies have explored the power of prayer and distant healing. The preliminary findings are startling. Even when people are unaware of such efforts on their behalf, it appears that these interventions have an effect. So even when we don't know what to do to make things better for someone, or when whatever we do seems likely to be of little or no consequence, we can have faith that we are not isolated individuals in a fragmented world. We can have faith that the power of intention links our actions to a vast web of interconnection. And I think I'll leave it right there. And that was from Faith, Trusting Your Own Deepest Experience by Sharon Salzburg. And thank you for listening. And many, many harvest blessings to you and yours. I hope you enjoy the first fruits, yes, of the harvest, all the things that were grown, especially if they were self-harvested fruits. Yes, but all the fruits celebrate and delight in the joys of life right now. Yeah. Participate joyfully in the sorrows of the world. All right, love you all. May you be happy, may you be peaceful, and may you be well. May we all be well. And may we all remember the love we are for ourselves and each other. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.